Hello students, this is lecture number 2 in human health and diseases. In the previous lecture, I was telling you about what is a health. The definition for the word health we have seen. Then how many types of diseases are caused in the human body. How and what are the types of them and other things, how they are caused, pathogen, what are pathogens, everything we have seen. As an introduction, in today's class, we shall see about some of the common diseases affecting the human body. We are going to discuss common diseases affecting the human health. We are going to discuss in this case. In the previous lecture, I was telling you what is a pathogen actually. Any organism which will cause disease is called a pathogen. That organism may be a microorganism or it may be a macroorganism like worms also. Bacteria can cause diseases in the human body. Viruses can cause diseases in the human body. Even fungi can cause diseases. In addition to that, protozoans and worms, they will also be able to cause the diseases. In this lecture, we will see some of the diseases about their how they are caused. That is one point we are going to discuss. What are the symptoms of the disease and how to avoid them? These points we are going to see here. As far as the first common disorder which we have to know here is about typhoid. We have to know about typhoid. So you must know that typhoid is considered as a fever in our body. This typhoid is caused by a bacterium actually. The name of the bacterium is called Salmonella typhi. It can be called Salmonella typhi is the name of the bacterium. It is a type of bacterium which will infect our body. It will cause the disease called typhoid actually. This typhoid or Salmonella typhi or Salmonella typhimurium, it can be called. This Salmonella typhimurium will infect the intestine of our body. Mainly it infects the intestine or our digestive part, we can say alimentary canal is infected by the typhoid bacteria. Due to this, we will be getting the chillness in the body. These are the symptoms I am telling you here. Chillness will be there, shivering like that. In addition to that, fever will also be caused, high temperature, increase in the temperature, and that is called continuous fever like that. That will be caused in the case of typhoid, we can say. Apart from that, it will cause headache also. Headache like symptoms are caused here. And due to this intestinal infection like that, blockage of intestine, otherwise constipation we are facing. The word constipation refers to some kind of indigestion related thing where the person will feel difficulty in passing the feces or undigested food will be eliminated with more difficulty. That is called as constipation. So headache, fever and chillness like condition will be caused due to this typhoid. One important point is when the Salmonella typhi are infect very seriously. In severe cases, in serious cases, what happens means perforation in the intestine will also be observed here. The intestine will get perforated, holed. It will get holes in the intestine, and finally, sometimes it may lead to death also in the fatal cases, otherwise severe cases. These are the symptoms of Salmonella typhi. How it is getting Salmonella typhoid, it can be called. How it is getting into our body, what is the mode of transmission, how it enters into human body, we shall see here. The typhi or this bacteria can enter into our body through contaminated food, we can say. Main point where it can be entering into our body is through contaminated food and contaminated water So when we consume contaminated food, bad food, otherwise foul food like that, and spoiled food, that is called contaminated. The food which is infected by Salmonella typhimurium will also, when we consume that will result in typhoid in our body. Not only this one, it is entering into our body through the contaminated water also. So what we have to do means, we must prefer a fresh food mainly. In addition to that, a fresh water, otherwise what is the purified water we have to drink in order to avoid this type of infection actually. Now remember, most of the times it can be entering from person to person through cooking the food also. There is one incident given in your textbook also. One lady called Mary Monroe is named as Typhoid Mary actually. This lady is named as Typhoid Lady or Typhoid Mary she is called. Why she is called as Typhoid Mary means she was infected by Salmonella typhimurium, and without knowing or without bothering about that infection, for several days or months together, she used to go for cooking actually. So through the food cooked by her, the typhimurium entered into other people also, and that has become a contaminated food actually. This is because of that, this lady is commonly referred as Typhoid Mary here. Why we talk about Typhoid Mary here means it can be contaminated, it can be infected through the food we prepare. So when the cook is infected by the disorder, he can pass it through the food prepared by him also. That is called Mary Mallone's incident we are telling. She is considered as Typhoid Mary, we can say. Now what are the methods to avoid it means? Avoid eating contaminated food and avoid drinking contaminated water. This is one of the important symptoms of what is that typhoid. One of the disorder, bacterial disorder we have to know here. Salmonella typhimurium causes that disorder. It infects the intestine, digestive disorder it is. It will cause chillness, fever, headache and constipation also. Moreover, it can result in perforation of intestine in severe cases, and finally it may lead to death also. Now, how to avoid it, or what is the treatment for this type of condition? Most of the bacterial diseases can be treated to antibiotics. When we get antibiotic, when we feel this headache, constipation and fever, we must go for blood checkup and other things. There we can find out whether our intestine is infected by this bacteria. In such cases, we have to take what are the antibiotics, which will kill this bacterium. They will help our immune system to fight against this pathogen. Anyhow, about our immunity and immune system, we will see it later. This is the first type of disease, common disease, which is based by human beings. That is known as typhoid, Salmonella typhimurium. Remember, Mary Malone is an example for contamination of typhoid in the community or in a population, we can say. Please make note of this. We will go for the second disease here. Keep second type. Okay, students, let us see about the second type of common disease discussed in your syllabus. You shall see here. You have to recall about another important bacterial disease here. This bacterial disease is known as pneumonia. It can be called. Commonly it can be called as flu fever also. Flu like that it can be called. It is a pneumonia it can be called. About pneumonia we have heard in the Griffith experiment, you may remember. For the experimental evidence to prove that DNA is the genetic material or molecular what is the basis of inheritance, we have studied about pneumonia. Just a disorder or the bacterium we have studied. This pneumonia is also caused by one type of bacterium only. Just like typhoid, pneumonia is also a bacterial disease. The name of the bacterium we study here is Streptococcus pneumonia, it can be called, or Streptococcus pneumoniae, it can be called actually. Streptococcus pneumonia. Coccus refers to what that spherical shaped bacteria, it can be called. It is a Streptococcus bacterium, a chain-like bacterium, spherical shaped bacteria. This bacteria or pneumonial bacteria infect our respiratory tract actually, or respiratory system we can say here. Rather than tract, it infects the respiratory system of our body. You know that the respiratory system is made up of lungs. The lungs are containing millions of small sacs called alveoli. So, this bacteria called pneumonia will directly go to our alveoli and cause infection in that alveoli actually. So, the lung unit of lungs is called alveoli. In such alveoli, millions of alveoli will be infected by Streptococcus pneumonia. Not only Streptococcus pneumonia, another bacterium called Haemophilus, it can be called. Another genus of bacterium called Haemophilus. Influenzae is the genus name we have to remember. Haemophilus influenzae and Streptococcus pneumonia, both of them are causing this flu fever, otherwise pneumonia disease we can say here. When alveoli is infected by Streptococcus pneumonia, what will happen in the alveoli? The alveoli will start to produce more quantity of mucus in it. So more and more mucus will be secreted and they will start occupying the inner part of the lungs we can say. The alveoli will be filled with mucus actually. Because of this mucus filled condition, there will be difficulty in the breathing faced by the person actually. Difficulty in the breathing will be caused and he will, because of that breathing problem and other things, he will get a chest pain also. Difficulty in breathing we can say. Apart from that breathing difficulty, chest pain like that flu may cause even fever also. Why fever is caused in a human being, whether it is typhoid fever or this pneumonial fever, all these things means the fever increases temperature of the body. When body temperature increased, it indicates that there is a fighting happening between our immune system and the pathogen. Whenever a foreign organism enters into our body, our immune system will go and fight against them. Due to that, more metabolic activities will happen that will increase the body temperature. This is called fever. So fever is a common symptom related to most of the infections we can see. So typhoid, even though it affects the intestine, whole body temperature increases. Influenza affect our pneumonia affect our lungs. Here also whole body temperature increases. Fever is caused in these people. And apart from this, due to mucus accumulation, the headache or sinus area will be affected by this mucus accumulation, which will result in headache also. General weakness will be caused due to this whatever condition we can see. Debility it is called, or weakness is caused in the body due to the accumulation of mucus and all these points we can see. Even these people will also suffer due to constipation like that, because elimination of that mucus related food will be a problem. Finally, another important point is, in severe cases, when respiratory system is blocked with no oxygen supply will be carried, no oxygen will be supplied to different parts of the body. Because of that, bluish coloration of skin and nail will be taking place in these people. Bluish skin will be caused in the person affected by this pneumonia disease. So when the body will become blue in color, nail bed will become bluish in color, and even the eye ball like that, they will become bluish in color. Such kind of modification indicates severe type of pneumonia. So who is causing pneumonia? It is caused by Streptococcus pneumoniae bacterium. Streptococcus is the genus name, pneumonia is the species name. It is caused by Haemophilus influenza also. It will affect our respiratory organ mainly. That organ in the sense lungs and alveoli are affected by this pneumonia bacteria. Due to this, the mucus secretion will be more. Blockaging of mucus will be taking place, and the person will feel difficulty in breathing, chest pain, and all these things we can see. Now this is related to pneumonia. In a 2-mark question it can be asked. Describe about pneumonia, give an account on pneumonia, causes of pneumonia, effect, all these things can be asked. How it is getting contaminated, how it is infecting our body. Pneumonia, Streptococcus pneumonia is also entering into our body through contaminated water only. Contaminated water is the source of this Streptococcus pneumonia. Contaminated vegetables, fruits and other food materials, they will also be responsible for causing this disorder. So, through the spoiled vegetables, spoiled food like that, it will enter into the human body. Directly they will go to the lungs, and there they will cause the mucus secretion. So there will be heaviness in the chest region, difficulty in the breathing. All these conditions can be experienced by an affected person. So second disorder is also here bacterial disorder only. The first one is typhoid, second one is pneumonia. Both are bacterial disorders we can see. Not only these two are the bacterial disorder, there are many other disorders also caused by bacteria. You might have heard about polio. Poliomyelitis is the type of bacterium which can cause the disorder in our body. The polio disease we are telling. Diphtheria, you might have heard diphtheria. It is also a respiratory disorder only. Diphtheria, whooping cough we are telling. Mostly in the children, that whooping cough will be there. Here is coughing with a heavy sound and continuous coughing will be known as whooping cough we are telling. Such a type of diphtheria, polio and all these things, they are caused by bacterial disorder. Even poliomyelitis, a type of viral disease. This viral disease is also there. Polio, mumps and smallpox, which we will see in the later point. Okay. Remember about polio, diphtheria, whooping cough, we can say whooping cough. These are all some of the symptoms which will, where some of the diseases caused by bacteria. So diphtheria, whooping cough, typhoid and pneumonia, they are some of the common bacterial diseases. They can be cured by taking some antibiotics actually. Let me continue with the third type of common disorder. We will see here. Okay, make note of this. Okay, students, two types of bacterial disorders we have discussed. Let me go to the third type of bacterial disease here. The first one is typhoid, second one is pneumonia. Third type of common disease we are going to see. Of course, it is not, we are not going to see another bacterial disease, a viral disease that we are talking here. The very important, most often infecting or most common infecting disease by virus is called as common cold. It can be called common cold. It is a disorder or a disease affecting our respiratory system, and it is caused by viruses. A group of viruses called rhinovirus. Rhinovirus is capable of causing this common cold. Another group of disease or viral viruses called adenoviruses. They are also responsible for causing this common cold actually. One interesting point is that common cold will be affecting our respiratory tract actually. Not the respiratory organ, but it affects the respiratory tract. Remember the difference between pneumonia and common cold. Pneumonia will be localized in the lungs of our body, whereas common cold will be affecting the respiratory passage, respiratory tract of our body. You know about the respiratory passage or respiratory tract, which will be constituting our nasal cavity mainly. Not only nasal cavity, even the pharynx of our body is also present in our respiratory tract. Even the trachea of our body is also included under respiratory tract actually. In first year, you have studied about trachea, pharynx and all these things. The trachea is called as a windpipe, we can say. That windpipe will bifurcate into primary trachea, secondary trachea like that, bronchi like that. Then it will produce bronchiole and everything. But remember, alveoli is not infected by this rhinovirus. This rhinovirus is capable of infecting the upper respiratory tract or even up to some tracheal part, we can see. When these organs of the respiratory tract are infected by adenovirus, what will happen? Again, mucus secretion will increase in these cases. There will be increased mucus secretion in the respiratory tract, we can say. So there will be nasal congestion happening in the body. Nasal congestion refers to heaviness in the nasal cavity, where the nasal cavity will be blocked by this adenovirus, we can say. So that mucus will block the respiratory passage, especially the nasal congestion, we can say. When it infects the throat region or pharynx, that person will suffer due to sore throat appear. Sore throat like symptoms will be caused in this case. Not only sore throat, we will be suffering due to coarse voice also. The voice of the person will become more heavy, coarse, rough in the nature due to the infection of adenovirus in the pharynx region, we can see. He will also suffer due to breathing difficulty, and it will cause a noise, otherwise what is that? Trouble sound during the breathing, we can see. A kind of peculiar sound will be caused due to the blockage or congestion in the nasal cavity, we can say. In severe cases, there will be running nose caused in the case of common cold, we can say. Running nose in the sense the heavily produced mucus will start to trickling down through the nostrils or nasal cavity, we can say here. That is called the running nose we are having. Severe cases will be resulting in headache also. Headache like that it will be caused. The affected person will be suffering due to these symptoms at least for 3 to 7 days actually. Whatever medication we take, it does not get cured generally. The that in spite of taking medications, the respiratory tract will remain affected at least for 7 days. Till then, our immune system will overcome those viruses here. Now that is called what is that common cold. Let us come to a point how this common cold is spreading from person to person. It is mainly caused due to physical contact actually. Physical contact is the main method of infection from the adenovirus. When a person is affected by common cold, he will be performing sneezing actually. Through that sneezing or droplets of infection, they will be carried to another person. That is why we are telling that when we sneeze, these viruses can spread through the water droplets, which will be taken or which will be contacted by another nearby person, means that will cause infection. Even that is true with the case of coronavirus also. That maintaining of social distancing is insisted because of this condition. These viruses can spread through air or through contaminated droplets. Droplet means liquid droplets are coming through the mucus, we can say. So sneezing is one of the reasons which will be spreading the pathogen from person to person. Not only this one. When a person is using his fingers or nose or other kerchiefs or other things for cleaning his nasal cavity, and the same fingers or same hand will be used for touching the door knobs or computer keypad like that, or it may be mobile, or it may be his handkerchief. Different organs where his physical contact is established, different parts where its physical contact is established, that will be useful, that will be spreading the disease also. That's why we are telling it is the most dangerous type of pathogenic disorder which can easily spread from person to person also. So not only physical contact, even here also we talk about contaminated water. So contaminated water will be responsible for spreading these disorders. And one more interesting point here is these persons were not only in adenovirus, even in typhoid and other cases, through the feces of the infected person, the bacteria can spread actually. When houseflies are just sitting over that feces, then when it visits the food and other things, they will act as carriers for that pathogen. So, pathogenic infections can be caused mainly through physical contact, and they can be caused through the food, water we drink also. This is regarding adenovirus or otherwise rhinovirus. There is no proper treatment for avoiding this one. At least 3 to 7 days a person has to suffer and he has to overcome that disorder through his own immune system. Congestion of nose can be relieved by inhaling some vapor rubs and other things. But generally, there is effects will be there for 3 to 7 days, we can say. A temporary relief can be given for breathing purpose through some vapors, but it is not a permanent cure, it is not a curable condition, we can say. So that is a common cold, which is caused by rhinovirus or otherwise adenovirus, we can say. Please make note of this. We shall go to another disorder. Okay, students, the viral disorder, we have taken one example, that is called a common cold. In addition to that, viruses are able to cause other dangerous disorders or diseases in our body. One of the main thing is polio. So polio is caused by virus, not a bacterium. I'm sorry, I told you in the previous bacterial part also. Poliomyelitis or polio is caused by virus. It will affect our nervous system and the nerve functioning will be affected. The person could not move properly, locomotion will be affected. Muscular disorder will also be caused due to this infection. Mainly in the newborn children, when polio is attacked, throughout their lifetime they will suffer with deformities in the legs and other organs. Anyhow, mumps you might have heard a disorder which will affect our throat and the glands of our salivary glands like that. Those mumps is also a type of viral disorder. Poxes you might have heard, the chicken pox we are telling and what is that, smallpox like that, they are all caused due to viral infection only. So these are all viral infections which will take at least 7 to 15 days for overcoming this disorder. Till then our immune system has to get ready to fight with these pathogens. Anyhow, now we have come across what is that, coronavirus, COVID virus like that. AIDS is caused by virus only. About the AIDS we will have a detailed study in the later part of this lesson. So this is a what is that, a viral disorder. Let me come to protozoal disorder now also. So three diseases we have seen so far. Typhoid we have seen. Then what is that, common cold we have seen here. Influenza we have seen. Otherwise that pneumonia disease we have seen also. Let me come to the fourth type of disease. Two of the diseases are caused by bacterium and the common cold these are all caused by viruses. So which virus causes the common cold? Adenovirus, otherwise rhinovirus it can be called. As far as the fourth type of disease infecting the human body in a common basis is known as dysentery, we can say. Dysentery we can very commonly affected condition. In most of the time when we apply leave for college and other things, we use this as the main reason actually. This dysentery is caused by one type of protozoan actually. The name of the protozoan is called Entamoeba histolytica, it can be called. Entamoeba histolytica. That is the name of the protozoan which will cause the dysentery in our body. Entamoeba histolytica is a protozoan, remember. So amoeba, that's why we use the suffix called amoeba in the genus name. Entamoeba histolytica and Shigella dysentery is another type of protozoan or bacterium we can say. Shigella dysentery that will also be responsible for causing this dysentery, which is commonly called loose motion we can say. This dysentery will be affecting or it will be caused in the intestine of our body. Especially in the small and large intestine, we have this infection mainly here. And this Entamoeba histolytica will affect the intestinal cells of our body. So that mucus will be secreted more in the intestine and that mucus will be sent out of the body mixed with water. That watery defecation or water mixed defecation is called dysentery or loose motion it can be called. Now remember how this is caused in a person. Entamoeba histolytica infection is also caused due to contaminated food only. As I explained you in the previous point, contaminated food with entamoeba can enter into our body, or Entamoeba histolytica can enter to our nail bed also. So without any personal hygiene, when we take food and other things, that will be one reason for causing dysentery. Mainly food poisoning it can be called, or contaminated food it can be called. When a person is suffering due to dysentery, when he washes his hand after defecation like that, there may be entamoeba present in the nail bed. When that is touching another food or other what is that day-to-day used material mix, through that this protozoan can enter into our body. So mainly through contaminated food and physical contact. These are the reasons where we get the entamoeba histolytica. Houseflies are playing an important role as a transmitter for this type of protozoan, we can say. Where housefly, it will sit on the defecated matter. Feces, it will sit. Then it will fly and come to our kitchen and it will sit on the food also, food we eat. So from the feces, it is able to transmit that protozoan to the food. When we consume that food, naturally we get affected by dysentery. That's what happens in the most sweet stalls and other areas, catering services, hotels and all. Housefly will be there. This housefly is able to transmit or act as a vector for most of the pathogens, we can say. Even though internally it did not carry, but its body parts like legs and wings can carry the pathogen. Wherever they go, they will be inheriting this point, transmitting this process. Houseflies, cockroaches and other type of household pest, we can say. That pests are the carriers for this dysentery related condition. Due to loose motion or dysentery, a person will suffer due to weakness, we can say. Sometimes it will cause fever also, and there will be more amount of weakness. Fever will be caused due to the dysentery, we can say. And after few medications and other things, it will get cured. And indigestion is a main reason, main effect caused by these conditions. Okay. This is regarding dysentery. It is caused by a protozoan called entamoeba histolytica. It is not a bacterium, it is a protozoan. Two bacterial disease, one viral disease and one protozoan disease I discussed so far. Let me continue with the fifth disease also here. Just make note. Okay, students, under the heading common diseases, we have discussed about 4 important diseases which we face in our day-to-day life. Fifth and a very important disease, which can be asked in a 5-mark question, is about malaria. I have to tell you. Malaria, very important 5-mark question actually. It is asked in board exams many times. Regarding malaria, let me tell you some of the points here. Malaria is also caused by protozoans only. Just like dysentery, it is also a protozoan disorder. Malaria is caused by a protozoan called Plasmodium, we can say. It is caused by a protozoan called Plasmodium. In the Plasmodium, there are 3 types, major types, which will cause malaria in the human population. One of the type of Plasmodium is called Plasmodium vivax, it can be called. Species name is called vivax, we can say here. Second type of Plasmodium is called as Plasmodium falciparum. It can be called falciparum. That is the second species we can say here. Third type of species which will affect the human body is known as Plasmodium malayi. It can be called. These are the three important varieties of a species which will cause malaria in the human body. When a person is affected by this type of Plasmodium, of course, very important thing is the main type of Plasmodium is known as Plasmodium falciparum. It is considered to be causing malignant malaria, we can see. The malaria caused by falciparum is known as malignant malaria. What is that malignant malaria? This disorder, this type of malaria can pass from one organ to another organ within our body. So that the person will be severely affected. It may lead to death of the person also. So finally it will cause a death of the affected person. That is one dangerous part of falciparum. That is Plasmodium falciparum is the most dreadful type of Plasmodium. Which organs are affected by the malaria means? Mainly it affects the liver of our body. The liver of our body is affected by malaria mainly. Not only liver, even RBC of our body, red blood cells, erythrocytes we are doing, they are also affected by this malarial parasite, we can say, or malarial pathogen it can be called. Remember how this Plasmodium enters into our body. The Plasmodium cannot enter into our body directly. It needs a vector for its entry. Vector in the sense transmitting agent, we can say. This transmitting agent of malarial parasite is a type of mosquito, we can say. The mosquito is there, which is known as Anopheles mosquito. The genus name here is Anopheles, it can be called. This type of Anopheles mosquito will be responsible for transmitting the Plasmodium. Mainly in the Anopheles genus, female will be responsible for infecting the human body. It will infect the human body and introduce the Plasmodium into our body. Why female Anopheles mosquito? They have got that peculiar type of mouth parts which can suck the human blood. Male Anopheles mosquitoes can suck the plant fluid, actually phloem fluid like that. But female Anopheles depends upon human body. Whenever a female Anopheles mosquito bites our skin or body part in the body, they will introduce the Plasmodium into our body. That Plasmodium will be in the stage of sporozoid stage. Sporozoid stage. So, when mosquito bites our body, it will introduce the sporozoid stage of Plasmodium. What is that sporozoid means? It is responsible for asexual reproduction. It is a asexually reproducing stage of the Plasmodium. During that infection of sporozoid, directly the sporozoid will enter into our liver mainly. In the liver of our body, the sporozoid will undergo asexual reproduction. They will infect many liver cells, hepatocytes we are telling. Later they will burst open the liver cells. So many of the thousands of hepatocytes will be burst and they will release thousands of sporozoid from the liver. Then they will infect from the liver, they will enter into our RBC, red blood cells. There again they will undergo asexual reproduction. They will produce many spores and infect many RBC. There it will live for some days. Then RBC will be burst open and thousands of Plasmodium will be sent out or it will be released out. During that bursting of RBC, they release one toxic chemical called as hemozoin. Remember, they will release a hemozoin chemical. That releasing of hemozoin is responsible for malaria fever in our body. The person affected by malaria will get intermittent fever. We have to every 3 days or 4 days once he will get fever due to the releasing of a bursting open of RBC and releasing of hemozoin into our blood. This is the test we do for discovering or identifying malarial infection. When the blood test is done for a infected person, we could come across the presence of sporozoite and the presence of the hemozoin chemicals. That is hemozoin and sporozoite. Further and further they will affect the RBC. In some of the RBCs, even they will be ready for sexual reproduction, we can see. There will be a stage for sexual reproduction which is called the gametocyte stage. It can be called. Sporozoite stage is different, gametocyte stage is different. Sexual reproduction will be carried by gametocyte. At this stage, if another mosquito comes and bite the infected person, imagine another female mosquito may come and infect the person. At that time, they will suck the gametocyte through their blood. There in the mosquito body, it will enter into the gut of the mosquito or intestine. From the intestine of the mosquito, once again it will go to salivary gland. There it will become the sporozoite action. So remember, mosquito is required as well as human body is required. Two organisms are required for completing the life cycle in the plasmodium. Because of that nature, plasmodium is otherwise called as digenic parasite, digenic phagocyte, it can be called. What is meant by digenic parasite means they require two hosts. One of the host is human body, another host is a mosquito. In human body it will affect the liver and RBC. In mosquito it will affect the gut and salivary gland, we can see. The detailed account of malarial life cycle I will give you in the next class, which is important for a 5-mark question. Just I gave you some outline related to the malarial parasite. So students, in today's class, I told you about the 5 diseases commonly affecting the human body. The first one was regarding typhoid. Second one was regarding influenza, otherwise pneumonia. Third one is a viral disease called common cold, we can say. In addition to that, we have seen about malaria also, and even entamoeba histolytica, otherwise protozoan disorder, dysentery we have seen. So, typhoid, pneumonia, common cold, dysentery and malaria. These are the 5 diseases which we have seen so far. Still there are some more diseases which we will continue in the next class. Okay? So let me start with this. Thank you.